Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I am slightly lightheaded. I do believe it has something to do with the way that I eat and my body not necessarily digesting it properly at all. Um, that's been a thing. All these little meals I've been having and I'm enjoying, body hates them. My body only likes rice, vegetables, pinto beans without any type of garlic whatsoever. If it has garlic powder, garlic, anything, my body's gonna hate it and it's gonna be bad. And I think all of the food that tastes good basically has some type of seasoning that has some type of garlic in it. So I just continue to endure. One thing it'll definitely do is keep me eating right so that it won't be difficult for me to stay in shape. So I welcome that, but I do like good tasting food, and for some reason, I think it's an iron issue or something. I don't know, but it's bad. It's really bad, and I'm really lightheaded. But aside from that, I've been in deep prayer, and He's helped me understand. The Lord has helped me understand through that prayer some really, really, really awesome things about my own character, a reminder of other people's character that has been good, and just overall some more of what He was showing me yesterday, which is a lot of times you be mad at others about certain things that ain't got nothing to do with the conditioning of your mind that allows you to think you're deserving of things that maybe you haven't earned. Allows you to apply anger to people who haven't done for you, who've done more for others than you've done for others. And the Lord is helping me understand that I don't have to continue to listen to thoughts that betray the truth of what I've already seen. People who've done good things for myself and others, I don't have to question whether or not they do for me when I need to. They're doing for others right now. And that's why they're not present to do for me. So I want people to understand that. I also understand that there's a duality of sorts in my circumstance. The Lord has helped me see clearly in regards to that duality. While I need help, I also understand that other people need things, that they may need me to kind of stay away with my troubles to keep from allowing the stress of my circumstance to compound the stress that's already in place. And if I continue to lean into my faith, the Lord will continue to protect them from my struggles, as well as provide me the path from which to allow solutions to come into my life without burdening them with those struggles. I think of what faith truly means and what it means to get closer to God and try to get holy. He helps you understand the angles that your desperation would never let you see if you would just go into your natural mind and listen to the world tell you how to handle things. Hound them, call them like spam calls, make sure they know what you need, make sure that you know they need you, or whatever, however that goes, some type of nonsense that really doesn't bring forth any truth to the circumstance. The truth is, the Lord will help me without burdening others. And the help that I will provide others later on will allow for me to have that grace just the same. Maybe somebody I can't help in the moment will be able to gracefully provide me the strength to not be burdened by their nonsense while I'm trying to focus on what I've prioritized. Maybe the Lord will pour into their hearts another path from which they can find what it is they need while I do what it is the Lord is telling me to do. And then maybe He will reach into them just like He reached into me to help me understand that, so that the energy that's inside of me will never burden them. It's the same thing I said in regards to my friend Kay when I was going through the process of stressing over why she wasn't coming around when I really needed her to. And to not let me bring that burden and that sadness and that entitlement to her life. It's the same thing. It's like you can find other paths. The Lord is going to spark into others whatever it is that otherwise will push you down the road of your path. You don't have to necessarily apply that desperation to your circumstances. You reach out. You can go deep into yourself, find the peace, and then He'll align you with the exact timing that'll make the conversation go as best as it should, with you having all the things necessary in mind to remember who it is that you're talking to and what they've already done for you, to remember who it is that you are and what it is that maybe you could have done to allow for this stress not to be able to be used by Satan to provide more stress upon them when they need to be focused on other things. I think my character is what's growing in this situation. I may not necessarily be conditioning myself to move, but the Lord is also conditioning me to understand that I know that I need to kind of go into myself to remember some things before moving, so that when I move, I'm moving in the right spirit. And that's what he wanted me to do this morning. To continue to work on the same energy that I was working on yesterday in regards to feeling what it is that's not coming my way and being angry about it, to realizing that the anger is actually pointed at me because I didn't like that energy, and I'm projecting it onto others because I know that energy myself. That doesn't say that that's what's represented in their hearts. It's represented in myself, and therefore because I apply it in life, I just assume that when I see it, it's the way I see it, that it's that, when it may not be that at all. Or I maybe do that because I engaged in that. In order to not do that anymore, I got to get this right here, right now. So this is what the Lord is doing for my character. It's making me respect that me not hounding or reaching out was indeed what he wanted. That I did not delay. That it was his will, that I felt inspired to stay away, lean into him, and let him help me through these circumstances. Instead of, where you at? Why you ain't? None of that is necessary. When the Lord helps you remember someone else's character, that'll answer your question for you, because he's busy with something that matters. Because he's doing something that you, if you were taking care of your life, would be able to help him do, instead of needing help from him to help you. This is where I want to grow. This is where I know I need to grow, so that I never find myself falling back into these spaces. The stem of what it is that caused all of this. An applied faith and a flaw in character at the same time. I applied my faith, but my character was flawed. And he needed to work me through that to get to this exact point, so that he can help organically change that character. Not force it upon me before I was ready, but to help me clearly see where I've gone wrong, and clearly see where I've gone right in regards to applying that faith, so that he could show me where I had gone wrong and I could receive it properly. These are things he's doing for me because I know he wants me to use my voice in ways that will help others. Many people will follow what it is that I do, and the entitlement factor of desperation will allow us to become what it is that we don't respect and forget about the character of others, or even, dare I say, destroy their energy so that they can't necessarily do what it is that the Lord wants them to do in the way that they were doing it. Now I'm bringing some static or something to their lives from within my desperation that doesn't need to be in their lives for what it is that they need to do, not only for what it is, for who it is they're doing it for, but also for me when it's time for the Lord to bless them to help me. I want to keep those energies intact because I believe that the Lord can do miracles with grace and patience and the lack of entitlement, especially in the spirit of desperation. When you absolutely need, but you're still thinking of others, and you know that the Lord will provide, and you allow him to help you see how all that comes together to be true. You don't just have to apply faith to it. He'll let you see the angles from which it makes sense to apply said faith. That's what holiness will do for you. When you abstain from certain things, when you walk away from certain cultures, when you start praying for other people on a consistent basis, even though you need so much, when you pray for people who are going through what you're going through, it allows you to see these things. And that's what he's doing for me. They say, you can find a lot of truth in the Bible. I agree with that. A lot of these things I think are suggested in the Bible in various things, maybe some in your Quran or maybe your holy books. They might suggest these things, but I'm telling you the truth. I'm not getting these things from the Bible. I'm getting these things from the direct source. I pray directly to the source. And I ask him to open my eyes to where I've been wronging others with my burden upon their lives, with my entitlement, or with my perception of mental health that allows my character to be snotty or whatever. Allow me to rely upon others to save me from circumstances, even though I'm not doing myself any favors in regards to relieving them of that problem. That's where my biggest sin was in all of this, thinking that my family was just going to save me if everything went wrong, instead of preparing myself so that I didn't have to burden them with having to do so if for some reason things did not go well. That is where I was not right. I knew that because they had helped me before, they'd just come back around and help me again. Whoever did, not only my family, but friends too. If things get bad, I don't have to dig myself out of this. They will dig me out of this. And I'm telling you, it took this morning's understanding through prayer to help me realize that that wasn't right. That I could be thankful that I have a family that will do for me, but to allow my situation to get bad with intentions of them helping me if they did, coerce them into spaces that they don't deserve in regards to myself. So when that day comes around and I need them to help me, I need to be mad at myself for ever allowing myself to be this bad so that I would burden them, instead of being mad at them for not being willing to fall in line with that horrible plan. And I trust that the Holy Spirit has worked on my character in such a way to help me understand a maturity level that I didn't reach before this moment, to literally grow up as a man in this way, today, right now. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful they allowed me to live this long to get to this point so I can welcome this energy. I was also thinking about all the times the Lord could have snatched me from the earth and threw me in hell for Satan, for satanic energy that I might have engaged in, being snotty or lustful or just being not the best. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like I've been wronging people all my life or didn't care about certain things, because I've always been somebody who thought he was righteous and thought he was doing the right things. But to actually grow up and to realize, you're backing other people into stressful circumstances that are not necessary, unnecessary. You can still hold your shares, but you don't have to wait for things to get bad and then wait for your family to save you, only to be a burden on them. You don't have to do that, and then to get mad at when they don't want to adhere to that nonsense because they are doing things that are righteous in nature, that the Lord wants them to do in nature. The Lord has asked them to do things that it may not even be easy right now, things they may even need you to be in a good space to help them with, and you are not, because you are engaging in that BS. I'm telling you, the Lord has given me more gifts of a divine nature in regards to helping me through this than anything I would ever ask for in regards to providing me shelter or some type of revamping of comfort. As I told you yesterday, I would rather him strip me down to my drawers than allow me to engage in the same character flaws that I've been engaging in that led me to this space of clarity in regards to my own character. And even though I'm proud of my character in some ways, because I continue to engage in the Lord by way of my words, and to continue to try to lead y'all toward what it is, the faith that I'm engaging in, regardless of your religion. At the end of the day, he's also helping me understand where I could be better on this earth for the people around me. He's helping me understand how to want to be better, how to never let things get this bad while still simultaneously standing for what it is I believe in as an ape, standing for what I believe in as a Christian person, standing for what I believe in regards to creative. I can do those things and grow as a person, mature as a man. And that's natural because we all grow up on our own timing. I happen to be 38, shaking off childish ways, childish mentalities, childish entitlement. I'm shaking those off. I'm learning organically the lessons that would make it so that I never find myself that kind of flawed. And for those who already had that lesson in your heart, watching me make these mistakes, I think the lesson to learn is that there's always something within ourselves that we can grow on, no matter how far we get to whatever point. And maybe it may be visible to everybody else but us. Maybe that energy that we engage in may be visible to everybody but us. And when it's time for us to understand it, and we do understand it, the best thing I can say is that it came on time. The understanding came when it was supposed to. And now that I have it, I just ask that the conditioning follow. I'm still used to, but that I know better allows me to start the process of getting used to something else. And maybe that first step ain't easy, but the wisdom is enough to get me started. So that's what the Lord is doing for me. He's working on my character as a person, as a man. Throughout these last 7 days, as I go outside and I get my sunlight, as I eat these foods that are making my head feel like I'm about to faint, all these different things are making me feel more appreciative of being the person I am becoming. Appreciative that he's let me live even this dang long so I can reach this place to say, I want to deserve better. I want to not be a burden on my family. I want to not be a burden on the people that I was expecting to save me because they've already saved me, and I didn't do what I needed to do at the time to honor that by trying my very best to engage in characters, energy that I now respect, that maybe they needed from me sooner. I tell you guys, I still feel a great deal of fear in regards to what I'm dealing with. Applying faith is never the easiest thing in the world, but you start to see what the Lord is doing around you, and it makes it easier to apply that faith. You start to see what the Lord is doing to you. You start to see his purpose upon what it is you're going through ain't just to make you suffer. It's to literally make you better. And that is exactly what this is. This is a trial of catastrophic proportions that is doing far more good for the person I'm becoming than anything that it's otherwise doing to my living situation or my comfort zone. And even though I wake up every day with the fear of things being taken from me, I also wake up every day with a newfound understanding and knowledge as to what it is I'm dealing with, and a newfound courage as to not only face myself and my character flaws, but also face the situations at hand with intentions of being better. When that fear comes and gets me, I get closer to God. When the circumstances come to meet me on my doorstep, I ask the Lord to continue to help me see things that will help me open my third eye in regards to my own bad energy, my own childish nature, my own selfishness. Low frequency, childish, spoiled selfishness that I've engaged in, that I'm starting to understand I engaged in, and I'm starting to understand why not to continue to engage in. I would love to say I'm sorry, but I don't think that's really the feeling, because I don't apologize for the growth process. I don't think it's meant for me to say, okay, I was immature yesterday, now I'm going to become mature more today and feel regrettable about the immaturity that I engaged in. No, all I can just say, I'm going to be better. I don't know how to necessarily be sorry for working my progressions. All I know is that I'm in a progress state that I think can make me better, so that I can have more of compassion for the things that I would otherwise need to be sorry for. I thank the Lord for allowing me not to engage in that energy with my family, with the people that I would otherwise point this toward. I thank you for allowing me to remember things that have been done for me already, things that I did not extend to others, things that I didn't do as much for the people that have done for me. I have not. So that's what I want people to understand. I'm growing, deeply growing. I don't know how much time the Lord is going to give me on this earth. I don't know. With the health things that I'm having, the food allergies I have, and I legitimately wonder if I'm going to live a full life. But I'm going to do what I can with that life. I'm going to do what I can with what it is that I'm learning. How much information is not in my head that could help me, instead of needing from others the ignorance of it all, the lack of education to know how to, therefore I won't need. But that I don't have the knowledge has backed me into situations where I've had to focus on me through that ignorance. And what I don't have, focus on me in regards to saying, hey, you are in need because you didn't engage in the right things. You are in need because you've been viewing things the wrong way. You are in need because you were going to allow certain things to get that bad, not necessarily because they had to be, but because you didn't do anything that would allow them not to be. And it's fine because I have an excuse, and it's fine because I know better now. So those two things will allow me not to hate myself anymore. That excuse, my mental health, and my inability to handle stress properly. And now my ability to now address that and build toward being better in that way. Not accepting that it's going to stay this way, but that I have already made steps in regards to improving handling stress that I can build upon. And that can help me be better too. That can help me back myself into opportunities to even learn other areas where my character has been flawed, other areas where I've allowed the demons in my heart and the distraction of being unholy, more so to speak, to think that I'm entitled to things that I haven't given, entitled to things that I haven't earned, and entitled to things that probably aren't even best within the path that the Lord actually has me on. And clarity of mind that now comes from extending myself to the Lord and to sacrifice some things that would otherwise allow me to get closer to Him. He can express to me how to love more, how to love better, how to need less, and how to offer more. How to avoid certain circumstances that back me into stress, and how to lead others away from those processes too earlier, so that they don't have to learn the lessons I'm learning the hard way, but that they can learn them through me in Jesus' name. And so that's why I'm thankful. That's why I'm not sorry, so to speak, because I don't think it was an accident. I think all of this is going the way it's supposed to. I think the Lord is doing exactly what He wants me to do, and learning these lessons exactly the way He wants me to do, and He's kind of course, me to do minimal damage with what it is that is actually in me to give, because he ain't allowing me to share it that way. I'm thankful that he's helped me go into myself rather than to go at people what it is that hasn't been vetted properly within myself. That meditation, that stop and pause and just think, like, hold on, pray, breathe, don't reach out yet. Why? Because you hadn't learned that lesson yet. You need to learn that lesson in order for you to be who you need to be, in order to bring them what it is that I want you to bring them. Otherwise, you're just bringing them the stress and the strain of the circumstances that you have without the lesson that the Lord was just about to bring you. That's why you don't move before he tells you to move. That's why you trust the Spirit, because he knows things that would otherwise make it so that you can bring forth all of what is best, not only for yourself, but for the people that you're bringing that energy toward. So that is the word. That is the lesson. Look inside yourself and make sure while you're in your time of need, or when you're guessing, you're thinking that you need to hurry up and be on top of things, make sure that what you're engaging in will actually welcome the blessings that you are asking for. If you can fathom such a thing, if you're not one of those people that just must go after, I'm going to take my energy, I'm going to do whatever I want to, I'm going to go after it, and if it don't come my way, it didn't come my way, I'm the king of the world and everything should be coming my way. But are you sure you're not one of those people that's going to back people in the circumstances that are no good for them? Back people in the circumstances where they're burdened with more stress than they need. Backing you into something that's deserving of the worst of things because you don't see how that goes. Helping you understand how you created your life and whatever choices you made. And maybe you might have did some flawed energy, character stuff that needs to be sorted out. That's what the Lord has helped me understand. My character needed to be sorted through a little bit before I could welcome the blessings that would otherwise make me better from within this circumstance. I can't be saved from this circumstance until his purpose upon my character is complete. Until he is shaking off everything that otherwise make me find myself in this position. And that's why I'm so thankful that he's woken me up feeling this way in regards to what I'm saying. That he woke me up saying the things I was saying, like, yo, I don't need to engage in that. So I just want people to understand that. I also think what's making me lightheaded is the excess sugar. When I bought the food that I bought from Panda Express, it has a lot more sugar in it than anything I'm used to these days. Everything I have in regards to sugar is organic. Fruits, bananas, and apples is basically what sweetens everything I eat. So when processed sugar or whatever they call it is actually in my food and I haven't eaten any of that in a long time, I think it's affecting me the way that it would when you have too much sugar just in general. That's exactly what I feel like. Like I've had way too much sugar. The same way I had a problem when I was eating that peanut butter. Remember I told you when my fridge first broke, if y'all follow back then, and I had like this notion that I could just eat peanut butter and apples, and then all that sugar from that peanut butter came rushing in my head, made me feel just like this, only a lot worse, to be honest. I think that's what it is, excess sugar. I don't like it. My body hates it. But yeah, anyway, just to get back to where we're going. You know, last night I went into a therapy session, going off all night. I don't know what I was talking about. I was half asleep when I was talking. But it was a lot of things that I was talking about that it meant a lot to me. And there was something else that came to me in that regard. I don't think it coincides with what we're talking about, so I'll just segue into an entirely different point. I was looking at Instagram as I always do. You know, I get a lot of my inspiration to talk from different things that I see on that app. But I just, saw what more of the same. What I always tell y'all haters pretending to be something they're not. A Klansman behind the scenes acting like he's a black person, jabbing at black people's issues for no reason other than be insulting. There's no purpose. He just comes there, or she just comes there to apply some racist rhetoric that would otherwise make fun of whatever black people are talking about, and then proceed to watch us be offended by it, but thinking it's one of us when I know it's not. I call it Klanstagram, because when you try to respond to them from within your own account, saying, yo, I know you're a Klansman behind the suit, they don't allow you to use the word Klan. Why is something that would offend a racist forbidden? Why would a term that would offend a hateful energy forbidden? but that of the energy that would offend a peaceful energy is allowed. Clanstagram, help me understand this. Why can't I lash out at some people who are lashing out at my people from behind accounts that are not real? I don't have a right to respond with that energy for the betterment of the people who are watching the conversation. They need to know that that is not a real black person. They need to know that that is a Klan member or something of that sort, with energy as such to provide confusion and to provide a belittling of our minds in regards to how we see ourselves by way of someone who pretends to be one of us. They're allowed to do that, but I'm not allowed to point it out. Clanstagram. It's what we speak about on half of these therapy sessions. It's being able to identify the chaos in the middle of us, trying to keep us thinking about us in certain ways. It's how they've kept us down in the way that they did. By helping you believe that there's more hate out there than it actually is. By helping you believe that every white person in the world hates you if you're black. They want that. They want you to think that everybody away from you is thinking of you the same way that you think the worst of them are thinking of you, when I know that that is not how this works. And they're probably doing the same thing to groups of others in regards to us. But one thing I know about Klan type energy is they are obsessed with what it is that they hate. They wake up and they obsess over it, which is why I know what it is when I see it. They always behave the same way. They group think, which is why the energy is so very detectable for a spirit like mine. So I just want people to understand that the world is not meant to make you feel like there's more hate in it than there is in just regular love or indifference or people minding their own business. There's a lot more of that than there is of that. But these individuals will be louder. They will be louder. And they will be allowed to do it by entities that don't love people. Not me and my group, not you and yours, because they want us evil at each other on behalf of their intentions, while they sit back and pretend to be what it is that they're not, who it is that they're not, and probably being people that they are, that basically have energy that's not like that in real life. People that'll shake your hand, smile at you, but really be plotting against you if you're a certain color or hue, really going back to their churches and putting on robes and hoods, burn crosses and all different types of stuff that systematically makes hate seem like it's bigger than what it is. And you would think they would point their, and when I say they, I mean those who try to rope black folks into Ricos and Spanish folks into Ricos, you would think they would point their attention at those terrorists. But they don't. They're too busy trying to stop us from getting out of the hole that we find ourselves in whatever engagement and nonsense that we've been forced into by way of the circumstances that have always been. They try to control our minds from within. That's how they always did it. And take away the information from you, take you away from your family. They've been applying psychological warfare on the minds of black people for years. And they are still engaging in that nonsense. Every form we are in, there they are to suggest something that makes us feel like we're either to be made fun of by our very own, hateful to our very own, or just that the energy that we engage in, it should be not taken seriously, that our lives should not be taken seriously. Clanstagram. And the app protects them, and I would love to know why. Facebook Meta protects them, and I would love to know why. If not for the embedded overall agenda to keep us in our place, a place that the Lord never intended for us in the first place. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus Christ, of whom I serve. Suddenly don't feel as lightheaded anymore now that that's out of my system. Maybe that's what was burdening me. I am teaching everyone, not just my people, everyone to look at this. Look at this. Because I promise you, what they're trying to do to my white brothers and sisters is make it so that I hate instead of looking to see you as for the beautiful people that you've been. I never let John Brown leave my heart. I never do. Because he lived his life and died intentional on ending slavery. Never will you tell me that all white people are like that. Never will you be able to convince me of that. Because John existed. He fought, killed, and died just because he refused to live in a world where slavery was a thing. And his example stands for all time. You cannot betray his existence, clan. You cannot betray what he's already proven. He was the one, the only one necessary. And I say that and I get chills about it because he was the only one ever necessary to prove to me and anyone else that not all of them are like you. And who you really hate is them, not us. Because everything you do is about making yourself an example of why they should be hated. That's what you do. Clan, Instagram. I am not confused. It's one thing the devil's always going to do. He's going to make himself look like a fool and have all of his energy blow back on him for his very own suffering and embarrassment. We've already mentioned this. That's exactly what the clan energy is about. This ain't about hating me. It's about making themselves look horrible. That is torturous energy that they'll welcome upon them. Karma that backs up them into generations of hell. That is what hate does. That's what it's really about. Obsessing over what it is that you hate is because it's bad energy pointed at you. It makes it so that hate is a porcupine that you're hugging. That is what it does. It blows back terrible upon your people. Now the whole world's looking at you as evil. And it ain't the way it's supposed to be. Not when I seen that one example of John. Not when I seen the people that have stood up for good things over the years. Love and engage in people that... You are not the clan. Caucasian is not the clan. And I'm sick of evil individuals pretending to be something that they're not, suggesting that they are people that they are not, for the purpose of chaos that will blow back on warfare upon all of us. I am not confused. So I want all of those people who follow me to understand, not only am I not a racist, but I hate that there are racists out there who wants to have that evil blow back on you. I hate it. I want that to be a way, not for the betterment, only the betterment and protection of my people, but for the betterment of the example of others, for the betterment of the display of what others are about. There are good people in every race. They do not need to have a label of hate upon them because of the wrongdoings of the few. The few who want to be louder than everybody else. So it seems like there's more of them than everybody else when they're just in a small corner over there trying to make noise and chaos to make the world what it is that they would rather it be, as small as them. Do not be confused, my friends. There's love in every group. There's hate in every group. So that's what's on my heart. That was a separate conversation that the Lord allowed me to understand needed to be had here. It wasn't just about my own character. It was about reminding people what it is we're up against. Black, white, Asian, Spanish, we're up against the hate of the few that want to seem like they're the massive majority when it ain't like that. They want you to think that everybody that doesn't look like you is after you, or should be discarded of, or should be frowned upon, or has no use to the uplifting of whatever it is your environment is. We talked about it last night in that video. How they doing the migrant workers and how they're finding out they need those people in Florida. They need these people in Florida bad. They can't even get their homes off the ground without these people's work. And yet they want to treat them like trash and make it hard for them to get their citizenship, make it hard for them to get the pay they're supposed to get, make it normal culture that they get a fraction of what it is that their worth should be provided. But when it's time for them to do the work, they want to hike the price all the way up or they won't do it at all. Pay them people what they owed. Stop making it normal that they get fractions of a penny for hard-ass work that you're afraid and cannot do. Cannot do. Physically will not survive doing. But you want to pay them fractions and make that normal? It's hate. It's hate that ultimately backs you into a corner where you don't have what you need. Stop following racists who don't have any sense at all. Because they're backing you into circumstances where you don't have the resources you need. This is why hate needs to be done with. This is why the culture of hate doesn't work. Because it gets in the way of what you need. It makes you think you don't need people that you actually need. This country ain't nothing without the people who do those work. You should be happy they're coming over here. You should be making life accommodatable for them if you understood what exactly they do for you. disgusting. I've been watching it my whole life. I know damn well we can't do that work. I might be able to condition myself to a point to do some of that, but I ain't never gonna be able to do it like they do it. I can't. You can pay me $1 million. I won't survive it. It won't work. These people are built different, anointed by the Holy Spirit to do things that the rest of us won't do, and humbled from within their spirit to see the fruit in doing it. Don't you see that you should honor people who think like that and live like that? They don't make you pay 10,000 times more than what you can afford to pay to get these things done. Don't you see how the grace has been provided you based on the humility of what they used to? You should be wanting to make their lives better so they ain't got to endure that no more for the grace of what it is they provided you for work that they've done. And you still try to shun them and make them feel like nothing. This is the evil in place in this country that keeps us from reaching our highest peak. Keeps us being an example of how to do this to other people, for other countries doing this all over the world, because we're supposed to be the leaders. We can't even get out of our own way. And I think that's purposeful. And I think there are people who don't want us to get out of our own way. The small few in the corner that want to hate for no reason. The jokers out there, so to speak, that just want to see the world burn. They don't harbor anything but hate for those who have more than them, who look like them, who don't, whomever. They just don't want to see us be okay at all. But I do. God does. So that's what I gotta say, man. I respect people who do the work that I cannot do, refuse to do, too entitled to do, don't have the character to even try. Those are the people that need to be given grace from on high. They need that grace. They need their kids to have opportunities to do better work so that they don't have to continue to be conditioned to do the stuff that none of us want to do, so that they can start being in places where they can be elevated in whatever educational processes or paradise processes. I want to see migrant workers on islands not working, enjoying things that we otherwise reserve for our very best. And you would say that they would taint the value of the property. And what I would say is they're more deserving of it than you. They deserve the blue skies, the blue waters, the nice martinis, all that. They should be able to spend their off seasons the way basketball players do, because they do the work that basketball players wouldn't want to do. See, that's what's fair. We don't engage in what's fair. We engage in what's going to help us get more money. Will help us save a buck. What's going to help us continue to elevate our 1% while the rest of the people run around trying to make it away. This is no longer the way the Lord wants this thing to work, man. He's moving things around so that we see what it is that I'm talking about clearly. And our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids are going to look at this energy foreign. They're not going to even know this. They're going to look at us like we were cavemen for treating people this way. I promise you this. My words will age well, because none of this made any sense. Y'all want to close the borders? That is not the answer. You want to shun people and let them die in the water? That is not the answer. Various different people coming over. I heard about circumstances. People ain't surviving on boats trying to get over to various countries, trying to leave, various situations of war-torn situations. Not even safe in their travels. And you want to shun these people like they don't deserve anything. They die in horrible ways. After doing work, after being willing to do work, willing to pray for people, willing to help people. Maybe they could evolve themselves educationally to do great things, but they dying in the water. While some people have so freaking much, that they could do something about all of that. And refuse to, because maybe, I don't know, some stupid wisdom that had nothing to do with compassion, ain't got nothing to do with God, got nothing to do with trusting the Lord and holding oneself accountable for the character flaws that they engage in. It ain't got nothing to do with making nobody better. It's making people richer, some, not all. Not the ones who need it the most. Sick of it. God is sick of it too. Fed up, to be exact. That's why he put this in my heart so deep. That's why he made me exactly who I am. That's why he put me in a position to say all these things in the way that I did, to know exactly what I do and not know what I don't. So that I could say what I'm saying exactly the way that I'm saying. This way we treat people and we allow the evil amongst us to treat people must stop. roping up a bunch of people who don't have nothing in the circumstances and making them turn on one another while you sit back and make money from it like it's culture, like you cleaning up the streets. You ain't cleaning up the streets. You are creating more of a culture of people having less hope to do anything other than suffer. You are not helping anything. You want to rope up all the gangsters, throw them in jail. You're going to have more gangsters come out of the children that are going to be next. And all you're going to do is do the same thing to them, application of putting black people in jail, putting brown people in jail, and not helping them elevate out of the desperation that would put them in those evil positions in the first place. That is clan energy. You think I'm confused? No, the black people, y'all do this. You never hold yourself accountable. What about you? What about the engagement of what it is that you allow? Allowing people to invest in cultures that allow for this type of energy, allowing people to invest in them weapons that allow them to get into these communities, allowing people to invest in the mind altering vice energy and things of that nature, liquor and drugs that find themselves in this community to warp these people's minds and to make them less holy. This is what you've placed in them. And then you watch them scramble, and then you blame them for what it is that they do when that stuff is in them. You put it in your community, you'll have it too. You put it in your music, you'll do it too. Holding us accountable for stuff that you've placed upon us to suffer through. Now, it's our fault for engaging in it, for not rising above it, as you've put walls everywhere around us to keep us from doing so. Where's the accountability? Where is the accountability? It's pointing right back at you. Consider the fact that you've kept education from people. Consider the fact that you have made the educational process difficult by putting these people in difficult positions in the first place. Desperation everywhere. Drugs everywhere. How the hell are kids supposed to be focused on the homework? The homework, the teachers don't even feel safe going to schools. How is this even possible? I am sick of clan energy trying to make us feel like the problems we have were not put in place by people who hated us. A lot of them were. A lot of them were. Dreamt up. The environments themselves dreamt up the behavior expected from what it is that they've dreamt. I know this. They expect this behavior when they put together these environments and these plans to put people in positions to be poor. They expect this. It's what comes of it when you do it. They could apply it anywhere. They could apply it to New Mexico if they wanted to. They could apply it to New York if they wanted. They could apply it to any place in the world. They could put it in Montana if they wanted to. They could take all of these applications of deteriorating communities and they could apply it to any community they want to, but they choose to point it at us. Why are you so threatened by us? I know why. Because of the stuff that comes out of my heart and mind. Because of my connection to the Most High. That is why. Because you will have to then admit that you stole the wrong people from the wrong place. That you welcomed a certain level of karma upon yourself as soon as you touched these people. As soon as you took them from where they were. As soon as you poisoned the well in regards to their understanding of who they were, you brought about yourself a doom that you can never undo. And you know it. The only thing keeping this thing upright is the prayers of people like myself, prayers of people who are faithful and holy, trying to connect to the Lord, to reach out to Him to make them better, to make our characters better. And then from everybody who does so, we will ultimately make this a better place. Despite your cultures, despite your low frequency nonsense that would otherwise keep people confused about who loves and who should apply faith and who is applying faith around them, not knowing who's a monster, like I was saying. Spirit of paranoia, self-exhaustion, it's all meant to make us not realize that it is meant to coerce us into places that ultimately make us no better. Coerce us into spaces that ultimately make us more pained, more harmful, less useful, less cognizant of how we are one degree of separation from a child from every damn thing we do, including the things that they coerce us into. We are not confused. So that's what I'm here to say, man. I press my views forward. I look, there are things that they're telling us that are really important and not as important as they tell us it is. These things that I'm talking about have a bit more credence, I believe, than just some of the stuff that they want us to worry about, like what's going on with the rainbow, if you know what I mean. It is not as serious, if not for the exaggeration of applied intent upon it and the various different angles from which they apply this is what it is, fake accounts and all type of stuff. Yeah, we hate them, you should hate them too. Hey, I look like these people, and what am I saying in regards to those people? That I hate them. See, that's me, that's us. No, it ain't us. That's cleanstagram energy, chaos joker energy, demonic people that want to see the world burn. They want to see God's will not in place in regards to where it is we are. And when things get worse, like what's going on in Florida, that's the intended purpose. They want to deteriorate. It ain't about helping us learn a lesson that we need the migrant workers. It was about ruining those damn homes. That's what they wanted. It was about ruining the overall sentiment of the state of Florida. They want it to burn. You gotta know what you're dealing with, especially when you engage in that nonsense, not thinking clearly, not allowing the Lord to reach your heart, just going along with the crew. You gotta know what the intent of that actually is. It ain't to make your group feel better. It's to destroy all of this. That's what Klan is about. It ain't about exalting white people. It was about destroying white people from the inside out. And I'm not confused. And it's the same applied evil in regards to the various things that we've talked about all this time. Hate wants to bring hell to itself. The devil wants to bring hell to himself. And anything that applies his energy is meant to bring hell to itself. And that's why you don't engage in any of the energies that he engages in, because it all comes back around to the same purpose. That's why you allow people of all different types of faith in, because they're all being attacked by the same worthless enemy. That's why you let your brothers pray with you. That's why you let people be who they are. That's why you don't allow yourself to feel hatred toward groups and things of that nature, because that's an energy that's meant to bring hell to yourself. That's all it's for. That's all it's ever been for. Do not be confused. Revenge held back to you by way of the things that you harmed that you never intended to. Pain that's going to turn other people into monsters. Turn them into people that are not thinking about these type of things, but more so engaging in the group thought of, I hate, yeah, we too. Not knowing what it actually do. Bring hell back to you. BDF 44, I thank you all for watching.